Volkswagen just killed a car that dealers cannot give away fast enough, and somehow that is the best news you will hear about buying an electric car all year. Walk onto almost any lot in America right now and you will see it. Electric SUVs stickered in the $60,000 and $70,000 range, wrapped in screens that will be obsolete in 3 years, sitting next to genuinely excellent electric vehicles nobody wants to touch. Not because they are bad cars, because they do not have the right badge, the right shape, or the right story to tell your neighbor over the fence. That is the whole scandal hiding in plain sight. After the federal tax credit disappeared, electric vehicle sales in the United States fell off a cliff. Cox Automotive counted just over 216,000 new EV sales in the first quarter of 2026, down 27% from a year earlier. Electric vehicles made up under 6% of the market compared to over 10% less than a year before that. Automakers panicked, and panic means one thing for you: discounts. Real ones. Average incentives on new EVs hit around $7,290 per vehicle by June, roughly 13% of the transaction price. But here is the twist nobody in the comments section wants to admit. This flood of unsold inventory is not spread evenly. Some brands like Hyundai and Mercedes kept their lots tight. Others like Volkswagen, Porsche, Nissan, and Chevrolet are drowning in days of unsold stock. So this is not a story about every EV being a lemon. It is a story about 8 specific, capable, ignored electric vehicles that smart, unglamorous buyers can pick up for a fraction of what early adopters paid. Buy with your head, not the badge on the grill. Let us start at number 8. Number 8 is the Honda Prologue. Sticker price sits in the mid $40,000 to low $50,000 range, but with lease cash and dealer discounts stacked together, real-world deals have landed closer to $35,000 to $45,000, with Honda at one point dangling over $13,000 combined in lease incentives. About a third of last year's Prologue inventory was still sitting unsold as leftover stock deep into this year. Why is nobody buying it? Because it shares its bones with the Chevrolet Blazer EV, and buyers assume a badge-engineered Honda cannot possibly be a real Honda. What it actually does well is simple: up to roughly 308 miles of range, a conventional and comfortable midsize SUV layout, and the full backing of Honda's dealer network. The honest catch is charging speed. It is adequate, not class-leading. This is the car for someone who wants an EV that feels like every other reliable Honda they have owned, and does not care that it started life as a Chevy platform. And if that is number 8, wait until you see what a genuine luxury badge is doing to move metal. Number 7 is the Cadillac Lyriq. Effective pricing after cash, financing deals, and lease support lands somewhere around $45,000 to $55,000 on a car that starts well into the mid $50,000s. Sales fell over 20% year over year in the first quarter, and roughly 3 in 10 pieces of last year's inventory were still parked as leftovers. The reason people walk past it is pure badge psychology. Cadillac simply does not carry the cultural weight of German luxury brands, so buyers assume the Lyriq must be a lesser car. It is not. It offers around 314 miles of range on some rear-wheel drive versions, a genuinely quiet and attractive cabin, and comfort that rivals cars costing far more. The honest catch is software glitches and inconsistent dealer service have earned real complaints, and depreciation has been slower to reward buyers than expected. This is the pick for someone who wants a quiet, plush daily driver and does not need a European crest to feel good about the purchase. Number 6 climbs into genuinely surprising territory. This is the Genesis GV60. Leftover 2024 inventory has been discounted down toward the $40,000 to $50,000 range, helped along by a reported lease credit north of $7,000. Over a third of last year's inventory sat unsold. The reason is simple: nobody has heard of Genesis, and unfamiliar luxury brands scare off buyers who want status recognition, not just a good car. What the GV60 actually delivers is remarkable: an 800-volt platform that can charge from 10 to 80% in around 18 minutes, one of the strongest warranties in the entire industry at 10 years or 100,000 miles on the powertrain, and an interior that punches well above its price. The honest catch is a tight back seat, a small trunk, and depreciation that will sting whoever buys new. This is the car for the driver who wants Porsche-level charging technology and does not care that the badge means nothing at the country club. But the top 3 are where the story gets almost absurd. Number 5 is the BMW i4. This is the single most abandoned car in the entire United States market. Nearly 9 out of every 10 pieces of last year's inventory sat unsold as leftover stock, by far the highest rate of any electric vehicle tracked. Effective pricing after discounts runs roughly $45,000 to $60,000. The reason is almost embarrassing. Americans do not want a sedan-shaped liftback. They want an SUV, full stop, regardless of how good the car underneath actually is. And the i4 is genuinely excellent, offering offering sharp handling, an efficient powertrain, a premium cabin, and real hatchback practicality most buyers never even notice. The honest catch is steep depreciation, pricey options, and a tight back seat. This is the car for someone who actually cares about how a car drives and could not care less that it is shaped like a sedan instead of a crossover. Number 4 is the Kia EV9. Lease programs have pushed discounts as high as $16,300 on some trims, close to 29% off the starting price of the base EV9. That is not a typo. That is a manufacturer desperate to move three-row family SUVs. The reason buyers hesitate is price shock. A fully loaded EV9 can cross $75,000, and most families simply stop looking once they see that number, never reaching the discounted reality. What it delivers is genuine three-row practicality, an 800-volt platform among the fastest charging of any three-row EV on sale, and a roomy, well-equipped cabin. The honest catch is that these enormous lease subsidies likely reflect weak resale values down the road, so buying outright is a much tougher case than leasing. This is the car for a family that leases anyway and wants 3 rows of space without the 3-row price tag. Number 3 is the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Discounted and incentivized pricing has landed some buyers in the $30,000 to $42,000 range on a car offering up to 361 miles of range, some of the best efficiency of any EV sold in America. The reason it gets ignored is almost entirely aesthetic. Its swooping sedan shape does not read as exciting to a market obsessed with SUVs, and rear headroom and trunk access take a real hit for it. What it delivers in return is remarkable: an 800-volt system charging 10 to 80% in about 18 minutes, and Hyundai's excellent 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain and battery warranty. The honest catch is that trunk opening and headroom compromises are real, not imagined. This is the car for a highway commuter who wants maximum range and charging speed and does not care that it looks nothing like an SUV. Number 2 is the Ford Mustang Mach-E. First quarter sales collapsed over 60% year over year, a staggering drop for a mainstream nameplate. Realistic discounted pricing on lower and mid trims runs roughly $32,000 to $45,000. Part of the collapse is legitimate competition and Ford's own pricing missteps, but part of it is simple badge confusion. Putting the Mustang name on an electric SUV divided buyers instead of exciting them. What it delivers is genuine driving fun, sharp handling, a useful crossover shape, and access to a huge fast-charging network through Ford's charging transition. The honest catch is that some 2026 trims come with a fairly modest standard range battery, so trim selection matters enormously. This is the car for someone who actually wants to enjoy driving their EV, not just get from point A to point B. And now, number 1, the single strongest contradiction in the entire American electric vehicle market, the Volkswagen ID.4. United States production of the ID.4 officially ended in April of this year. Fourth quarter sales had already collapsed 62% year over year before that. Nearly 6 out of every 10 pieces of last year's inventory sat unsold as leftover stock. Realistic discounted pricing has landed remaining units around $32,000 to $40,000 on a car that offers up to 291 miles of range in its long-range rear-wheel drive form. Why did America give up on it? Because Volkswagen gave up on it first, and buyers can smell an abandoned product from a mile away, even when the car itself is still comfortable, quiet, and roomy in the back seat. The honest catch is significant. This is now an orphaned model. Charging speed tops out around 135 kilowatts, well behind newer 800-volt rivals, and resale value is a real unknown. This is the car for the buyer who wants a comfortable, quiet, deeply discounted daily driver, understands exactly what they are getting into with a discontinued model, and plans to negotiate hard on remaining inventory before it disappears for good. So here is the real lesson underneath all 8 of these cars. The industry spent years making electric vehicles more expensive, more complicated, and more obsessed with impressing the person in the driveway next to yours. Meanwhile, some of the smartest, most capable EVs on sale in America are sitting quietly on lots, discounted and ignored, simply because they do not carry the right emblem. So ask yourself honestly, when you buy your next car, are you solving a real problem in your life? Or are you just trying to win an argument you were never actually having with your neighbor? Drop a comment and tell us which one of these 8 you would actually buy and what you are driving right now. Buy with your head, not the badge on the grill.